Hey, we are back. Welcome to In Your Head Wrestling Radio. I am the internet icon, Jackie Jones, along with my right-hand man.
1-inch biceps, the power goat. Bah, how about that?
Oh, man. And the man all the way from the UK.
The voice of the beautiful people, Barbie Richards. Potato Man.
Oh, man. And joining us right off the bat of the show here, we have Six-Pac, Shawn Waltman. Welcome to In Your Head.
Well, thank you very much, fellas. Call me X-Pac, Sick, whatever you want to call me. Ain't nobody got sick.
So, what do you prefer people call you?
You know what? It's when I'm walking the street these days, I get the variety. I get the X-Pac, the Six. I've been getting a lot more Six-Pacs lately for obvious reasons. And I still get the 1, 2, 3 kid. Quite often.
Yeah. Actually, when I put up on our website, I had some people saying, yeah, it's a 1, 2, 3 kid.
Yeah. They just figured that out? It was the same guy?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. They've been out of the loop, I guess.
They found it on the Wikipedia.
So, what's it feel like to be back on TV with Hall and Nash?
Well, since I was in exile for several years, I don't know how else to answer that, but it fucking feels great, and especially with Scott looking good these days, and Kev always looks good, and I feel like I'm in pretty good shape right now, and it's been semi-difficult just because of the way the show is formatted to be able to go out there and showcase what I could still do.
Sure.
So, I'm a proponent of we need more actual wrestling time on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what I do. And but people, I think they get the wrong impression of me too, but because I'm actually pretty good on the stick. I can talk, and it's just you don't get as much opportunity, and these days you get a paper handed to you with the promo mapped out, and it's kind of got words written for you, but they tell you. You could say it in your own words, but once you read their words, it kind of gets fucking stuck in your head, and then it's hard to put it in your own words. Mm-hmm. So you end up looking like, fucking bad soap opera acting.
Yeah.
Like at the height of the NWO, how much of that stuff was scripted, or was that just all of you guys?
Really just us going out there and just saying whatever in the fuck we wanted, which was the best thing of it, because we just kind of we said what we wanted. If we had heat with somebody, we'd fucking bury him. And, but turn it into making money. It wasn't just burying people or talking shit to people just for the sake of being assholes. We were trying to create, real emotion and controversy. And at the end of the day, we laid down in the middle of the fucking ring for the baby faces. So, it was a good formula. It worked.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything in particular that, got you a lot of heat with any of the guys? Anything you said?
No, not with the guys. Maybe with the offices.
Right.
And, usually never with the guys. You have a hard time finding somebody that doesn't like me. I'm just being honest with you because, I get along with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And if I talk shit, it's nothing that I won't say to that person. I'll never tell you, don't tell so-and-so I told you this, but,
mm-hmm.
It's just, that's not my style. And plus they're going to fucking hear if they're somewhat internet savvy, they're going to find out I said it about them, so.
Mm-hmm. What were you saying, Barb?
What about the Four Horsemen parody in WCW? Was there any fallout from that?
Oh, come on, man. They had to change the whole main event of Great American Bash and put us in the War Games.
Mm-hmm.
Over that. And that was Terry Taylor's brainchild. And that was the first time a parody like that was ever done on a major wrestling show. And I thought we fucking knocked it out of the park, and you know, even Flair and those guys, they were laughing when we got back, but I guess by the time, you know, like some family members called and fucking complained about us making Arn look like Otis the Town Drunk, and I mean, I was just imitating Flair in a cartoon manner. You know, it was satire. And I have nothing but the utmost respect for Rick, and I love him to death. But, you know, we weren't really each other's fucking, how would you say it, favorite people at the time. But you know what? When we got in the ring, it was kind of magical.
Mm-hmm. Now,
So,
how about like, go on, sir.
What?
Go
ahead.
I was just say, like, on the reverse side, has there ever been anything that someone said about you, like in a promo or on TV, that like got you mad?
There's something that hurt my feelings one time. Not to sound like a fucking pussy, but I had heat with the writer, and that little cocksucker might still be up there in WWE. His name's Brian Gewirtz.
I think he is.
Guy, but just a little shit. He had no respect for us as wrestlers. He had no respect for the heritage of the business. He had no respect for what it takes to actually go out there and be a star. And he thought it was all just, you could just write it. And Russo was that way to a certain degree too, but had more respect for wrestling. You know, like Brian Gewirtz, he had heat. Like, we called Wrestler's Court on him, and we fucking lambasted his ass. And so for shit like, you know, he would walk by, what was his name, Papi Chulo, I mean, Mr. Aguila.
Yeah.
Not say nothing, and like Paul Heyman would say, hey, why didn't you fucking say hi to Aguila? And he goes, why should I say hi to him?
Now, do you think you have to be a wrestler to write wrestling, or do you think you just have to have respect for wrestling to write it?
I think you have to have some knowledge of it to be in charge of writing it. I mean, if you've got some creativity that you want to put in there, but like, I mean, if you've never been in a fight, never had, and especially for that little shit, it's probably never been laid. I bet you that little fucker never been laid to this day. And like, how do you know about sex and violence if you've got no worldly experience? How would you know anything about a war if you never fucking cocked a cannon? You know, we don't send people over to fight overseas without sending them to basic training.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was a good analogy or not, but fuck it.
X-Pac.
Oh, man.
I was curious about one thing.
All right, this is caller Shannon. Hey, callers calling. Just wait for us to call on you. But Shannon, you have a question?
Curious about one thing? That's it?
No. I was just curious. 1995 in the WWE, when you were set up for the tag team titles, Bob the Sparkplug Holly. Now, was you meant to win the tag titles, or was Bam Bam and Tatanka meant to win the titles that night?
Oh, we were meant to win, and it was a setup. It helped us, and it helped Bam Bam shoot the angle at Lawrence Taylor to go into WrestleMania, and it was a highly successful piece of business we did there. We had a good match, and you know, the people were with us, and they really didn't. I think that they really didn't know if we were really going to pull it off.
You guys are an awesome tag team.
Well, I enjoyed teaming with Bob, and he even got. I mean, and that was an earlier point in his career there, and he really came in more of his own, like even later, you know, and developed a hardcore persona, which kind of fit him better if you ever knew him, you know. I mean, but nothing but respect. One of the best guys.
My wife and me love watching TNA thanks to you guys.
Yeah, I'm happy to be on it. I just want, you know, I just want the product to be successful, and I want the people to buy what we're selling. And and we're kind of right now. There's no excuse. We have all the talent in the world right now, and we just got to figure out what's the proper direction. And I say that we, as in the company as a whole, because I honestly, I have zero input. I mean, I've got plenty of ideas and shit, but like, I just got back there and they're trying to figure things out there, and I'm trying to be patient and all that. And I love Hulk and a lot of people think that Eric Bischoff and I had heat, and that's as far as thinking the truth. Like, I mean, that shit got buried a long time ago. And also things came to light that really made me understand his perspective on why I was let go. But I mean, everything was for a reason, because I went and went on to fucking be highly successful after I was fired.
Do you have a lot of heat with Brian Clark by any chance?
No, not. I mean, I like the guy. He might have some negative stories about me because of just maybe some situations we were in. I mean, but as a human being, I think he's a really good human being, and I had a lot of singles matches with him where I thought we had really good matches, and I fucking flew around that ring for him like nobody's business. And back then, that ring was hard as shit.
Oh, yeah.
It was hard. But, I mean, you asked me about Brian Clark. I mean, why? Is there some, did he talk shit about me? I mean, I've done things. I mean, I'm not been perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So,
no.
I mean...
Now, with you guys in TNA, do you think it's better for you guys to work with the younger guys or like the established guys and kind of put together dream matches, or do you think it's best to do a combination?
A combination, a little bit of both. I think we need to mix that shit up real good, man, and get those people out there that are going to be able to step up, figure out who they are, put them in the ring with us, And we've got a lot of guys there that are great in the ring and maybe lacking a little in the promo or speaking department. And I mean, we need to give them a chance to do that, but we also need to feature them at what their strong suit is, and that's the wrestling. And you can't do that in 5-minute fucking sound bites of wrestling matches.
Do you think it would be better to have longer matches, maybe not so many matches on the show, or is that what kind of your idea?
I think so. I think, okay, if there's a problem with, they want to fit everybody on the show and not leave people out, have more six-mans. Make the singles matches mean more. Like in Japan and Mexico, when it's a singles match, that's actually a bigger deal. And, I mean, you put six-man matches together and you can, you can get guys in there that have feuds with each other, that have angles with each other, that get in the ring a little bit and give the crowd a little bit of a tease, but they don't really touch that much, and forward more than one angle in the course of one match. I mean, there's just so many different ways to try things. There's so many different ways to try, is what I'm saying, and it seems like, I'll use myself. I'm guilty of this too. It seems like we tend to fall back on what we thought worked, or what we know to have worked, however many years ago, whether it be 10, 12, 16, 5, however many years ago, and I mean, it's good to look back and study history so you don't repeat yourself, but, I mean, we need to come up with new concepts, new ways of presenting the show, and take some chances. And I know, and that's what I like about having Eric Bischoff there, because he's got balls, He's got the fucking, and Hogan and a lot of other guys there. You know, but I'm just talking about Eric specifically, like, you know, not. I mean, I got nothing but respect for him because, you know, he'll go toe to toe.
We get some more callers here. Let's get to one. We got Joel calling in from Portugal.
Hello there. Hello there, Six Pack. How are you doing?
What's up, Portugal, man? I haven't been there forever, man. 1993, I was a little Lisbon.
Yeah, with the WWF back in the day, yeah. Undertaker, Razor Ramon. Yeah, great times.
Do
Go ahead.
Do they still have this old timer that named Tarzan Taborda?
Oh, he died in 2005. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry
Died
to hear
of a
that.
heart attack, according to the doctors. Yeah, the autopsy. Yeah.
Anyway, what's your question, dude?
I had like two quick questions for you. Firstly, when I was a kid, I used to watch you as the 1, 2, 3 kid. What were what did the WWF wanted to do with you? Did they wanted to make you the #1 cruiserweight because Lucha Libre was quite popular back in the day? What was the plan?
You mean when I first got there?
Yeah.
No, they had no intention or desire to have a cruiserweight division there. They just saw something in me, and I'm very grateful that I was the one that was, you know, given the opportunity. And, you know, they came up with an idea that with the 1, 2, 3 kid angle with Scott, honestly, like, was the first, like, big angle on Raw. Because all the other angles shot on superstars.
Yeah.
Shit like that, you know? So, the answer is no. My gimmick was the underdog. I always worked with bigger guys. I developed a style that was a main event style, not a spot fest style, but a main event style that I could work with, whether it was Yoko or Taker or Owen or Brett or anybody. And you know, that was my role there at the time. They had no intention to cruiserweight anything until later on when WCW brought in the Luchadors and honestly and I really wanted no part of in WWE or F. I wanted no part of the cruiserweight division.
I see.
Because I made more money with the big guys and plus I enjoyed the contrast in size and the story that could be told. The story is more compelling, you know, the David and Goliath thing. And I thought I did a good job at that. So, you know, I'm very grateful, and I'm grateful for the recognition that a lot of the guys give me for, you know, considering me a pioneer. I mean, I can't hold a candle to these guys today as far as doing some of the more technical, like, high-flying things they do. But, you know, what I was doing back then was pretty cutting-edge shit. And if you look at it today, it still takes a lot of balls. It's just not as pretty as some of the shit AJ or, you know, some of the other X guys. I'm a big fan of the Motor City Machine Guns, too, by the way. Those guys, man.
Actually, I just want when we had Jericho on, he said that it can be bad for your career to be labeled as a cruiserweight. Do you agree with that?
Yes. Yeah, I agree 100%. I agree 100%. I fought every time I was ever, like, wanting to be put in there. I mean, I was happy I got to be the first person ever in the history of wrestling to hold a WWF and a WCW championship at the same time. But it wasn't a big enough deal like that. I wanted to have my pay scale drop by 30%. You know, and I mean, I knew they weren't really. It was never going to be a main event match. It was never going to be on the top of what we would call the centerfold. When you fold the program in half, the matches on the bottom half are the matches that guys don't make shit, and the matches on the top half of that centerfold are the guys that make the money. And I always want to be on the top half of the centerfold, and you know, cruiserweight title match is quite often did not end up in that spot. So that
What was
answers your question.
Definitely. What was your second question, Joel?
My second question, very quickly, is about the DX reunion that happened not that many years ago. Were you in any way invited to be a part of that said reunion? And if you were, did you consider at all being a part of that reunion that happened?
Well, there was no formal invitation, but I was invited to come down to a house show in Tampa. And those guys did their thing in the ring, and I just surprised everybody and came into the ring afterwards, and the place went apeshit. And then they called me I'm gonna be honest with you, I was so happy that night. Like, I went out and got fucked up. And didn't make it to the gym the next day with Hunter, and then they had to go to another show. And so they just were like, well, fuck, we still can't depend on the kid. You know, I mean, so I fucked myself out of that.
Okay.
Thanks for calling, Joel.
Thanks for answering my questions.
I mean, you had me on your radio show. I'm not here to fucking bullshit. I'm telling you the
do you think DX can work, or, well, it's not going to be around anymore, but do you think DX works in a PG WWE?
Nope. No, it doesn't. I mean, it does. I guess it did to a certain extent, but it wasn't DX. It was DX in name only. And, I mean, and some people might say, well, who the fuck am I to say that? But who I am is the only fucking true degenerate left in the fucking wrestling business. You know, and maybe just outlaw might be the better term, but degenerate, I'll take it. You know, I mean, you know my past. You know, I mean, I've been in fucking, a lot of tumultuous situations that have been, you know, plastered across tabloids and, you know, adult websites and, you know, just, you know, a lot of scandalous shit. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm really touched that the people, like, in spite of all that, have still, like, shown me love. Like, I mean, parents that bring their kids to see me, in spite of all the fucked up shit I've done. And that means a lot to me because I love kids and I love, you know, the people coming out. And I mean, like, that's like one of the most satisfying things in my career right now is interacting with the people. So I might have veered off a course on that, but, you know, I mean, okay, look, it's just, it was DX in name only. It was still popular, you know, because Shawn and Hunter are fucking so great. But let's be honest, neither one of them are even, like, in a movie, if they were fucking Charlton Heston and Robert De Niro, they couldn't have pulled off the fucking role of being a true degenerate anymore. You know, I mean, one's devout born-again Christian, and the other one's, you know, never had a vice in his life.
Right.
Yeah.
Then they had a midget.
And there's a notorious family man and company man. And I respect both of those, and admire both of those guys. Don't get me wrong, I love them to death, but, you know, the DX was about having the edge and being and being ahead of the curve on shit and not rolling midgets around on fucking skateboards. And nothing against Hornswoggle. I'm glad for him to have a job. And I wouldn't even have minded having a midget around because I could have came up with some really funny fucking do with the midget.
Right. Well, they had midget with Jackass, so I think that would have fit in with DX back in the day.
Yeah, I just had a little resin ball cough up from my lungs there from earlier.
All right. Intro, did you have a question from the board?
Yes, I did actually. Extreme Falls from our message board. He wants to know, was it hard to work with Yokozuna considering his size?
Yokozuna, is that what you said?
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, it was a piece of cake. It was cake. I loved it. The guy was so, I mean, nobody knows just how great he was unless they were ever in the ring with him. His timing, his grace in there for his size and his agility. And I mean, he'd drop that ass on me, and I'd never feel a thing. Never.
It always looked like he was killing the guys.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's supposed to. We're not. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we're supposed to like. Because everybody knows it's a work doesn't mean like for it to look like a fucking work.
Mm-hmm.
In my book, you know, that's why I still like to keep shit fairly real looking. You know, I mean. They edited the shit out of that street fight match we had the other night with the Dudleys because that just Neil he shattered that kendo stick. He hit me so many times, and I just kept telling him harder. Is that all you got, you pussy? And finally, and it's like that's great television. The people were going crazy, and they edited it from what I could.
Well,
so
why
that
did you
couldn't.
do that?
I don't know. Maybe you got some squeamish network guys. I don't know.
Maybe I edited the fireball spot too.
Did they edit that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard they were going to.
On TV, it really.
And I kind of understand because. Oh fuck! Sorry, I just spilled something all over my fucking car. The one that great.
Everything all right?
Oh yeah, we're not gonna miss a beat. Trust me.
All right, cool.
So keep on breaking.
All right.
Yeah, man.
All right, we're talking about the Dudley. What did you think about working with the Dudley boys?
I love working with the Dudleys. You know, when they first came in to work for Vince, they had come from ECW, and we had different style. It took them an adjustment period, and they were a pleasure to work with.
I know a lot of people said, like, when they would bring in ECW guys, like, there's people in WWE that didn't want them to succeed. Did you see, like, that in any of the guys, or do you think they had a fair shot?
Yeah. Yeah, but it wasn't like a universal thing where everybody was out to get the ECW guys. It's just some guys are assholes. Some guys are jealous. Some guys are insecure that their spot's going to get taken. Here's the thing. Nobody's got a spot like that. This spot right here, this doesn't. The spot only belongs to me as long as I'm good enough to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if somebody's better than me, come take my fucking spot. I dare you. I dare you to fucking get good enough to take my spot, and I'll be happy to step aside. You know, I mean, the natural evolution of wrestling. You know, but I have a lot of knowledge in my head, and if I was missing a leg, I'd still go out there and fucking rock it. As far as I'm concerned.
Jesse Neal in the match. Do you think he fits in there?
Well, I don't know what. If you ask me if I felt like he fit in there, he felt like it because, you know, his instincts were good. He's new, but his instincts were good. I could tell like he didn't doubt himself in there when he thought that he should do something. He did it, which a lot of people make that mistake. They go, "Oh, I should do this," and they know in their fucking mind they should, but then they doubt themselves and they end up fucking things up. And he didn't do that at all. So, I mean, I can't vouch for the people accepting him, but I accept him.
Mm-hmm. I was watching the Hall TV that he does. It was with both you guys on, and he was talking about Eric Young, and he said that he didn't think Eric Young belonged in the six-man match you guys had, but he proved him wrong in the match. Did you feel that way about Eric Young beforehand, or do you think he was like talented?
More than a few years ago, when they were doing all that Team Canada stuff, and Eric was kind of just buried in Team Canada, I saw something special in him then, and I would go to him. I'm going, "Look, dude, you're fucking just hang in there, man. You're I told him, I said, to me, in this Team Canada gimmick, you're the most entertaining guy here. And, you know, obviously he's had to evolve his persona and everything because you can't fucking draw money, you know, with people thinking you're a fucking dipshit and laughing at you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's all right to have on the undercard, but who the fuck wants to be stuck in the undercard forever?
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't know. Come on, guys. Some more music.
We got Jason on the line.
Hey, what's up?
Jason, he's been on hold for a while. You got a question?
I got two, if it's cool with Puck.
Not bad.
My first question is, when I was younger, I was a huge fan of Global, and how does it feel to know that your matches with Jerry Lynn are still considered great matches even to this day?
Well, I got mixed feelings on that because they were groundbreaking matches, and you know it helped introduce. And Jay and I weren't the only ones. Let's be fair. We got the break to be on ESPN, so we got seen by more people. But you had Sabu, Rob Van Dam, all these other guys like out there trying to do the same thing in other parts of the country, and overseas in Japan, and you know, and things like that. And you know, we were fortunate enough to have that spot and that showcase to you know, to show off our you know, what we had to offer. But I look back at the matches now, and I don't think they're anything special by today's standards at all. And plus, I was way greener. I didn't know how to work then. Neither one of us really knew how to work. We thought we did because we were the king of the indies. But I mean, when I went to work for Vince McMahon, and I started having matches with Terry Taylor and Rick Martel and Mike Rotundo, all consummate professionals, no matter what you say about their ring style or whatever. I learned real fast that I didn't know jack shit about the ins and outs of working a great wrestling match. But I caught on quick.
Mm-hmm. How much do you learn from, you know, working guys that are like on your level, your same like experience, to going on to the big time and working with the veterans like that? Is it like night and day?
Yeah, except for sometimes you get that special person that, man, you touch them, you get in the ring with them, and even though they might be green and inexperienced, they can follow the lead, they listen, you know, they hear the people, and really, honestly, I had guys like Test, Matt Bloom, who was called Prince Albert, several guys that I took under my wing, you know, because like Kurt Hennig took me under his wing, Pat Patterson, Scott, you know, Shawn, Kev. Well, actually, I was more experienced than Kev. I've been working longer than Kev. But, I mean, he took me under his wing in other ways, just not, like, me up the fucking stairs, up the 3 flights of stairs to the fucking Roadway Inn motel rooms half the night, so I didn't know what the fuck I was.
Jason, did we get all your questions, Jason?
Yeah, I'll make my other question real quick.
All right.
If it could be done on a proper stage, like maybe in TNA, would you be up for having one more match with Jerry just to commemorate how a lot of people care about those matches?
Jerry Lynn.
Yeah.
I thought about Jerry. Well, yeah, always. I would always be up for that. But if you go and look, there's a group called First Wrestling that has shows in Minneapolis. And last year I had a reunion match with Jerry at First Avenue, which is a world-famous venue there where Prince shot the movie Purple Rain. And we had all word-of-mouth advertising, and that fucker was sold out. And those people, I mean, it was like emotionally moving. It was so fucking like, the people were just so, they showed so much love, put it that way. It was incredible. And you know, we had about a 25-minute match, and I don't know how it holds up on tape, but if you were there live, it was fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
So
I would
Jason.
check that out, you know.
What do you think of the name, the band?
I think it fucking blows.
I know Kevin Nash has said if anyone could think of a better name, he'd fly him out to Florida.
Well, we're the Wolfpack. That's the fucking bottom line. Call us what you want, but everybody knows what we are. We're the Wolfpack.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you know the copyright issue with that? Is are you guys legally allowed to use it?
I'm pretty sure we are, but I'm not fucking TNA management, and I have to obviously defer to their judgment, or else not work there. That's fair.
Mm-hmm. Well, what about merchandise? I mean, you guys are back together again. I just think it'd be a no-brainer. You get some Wolfpack shirts out there.
I'm just gonna put the fucking Wolfpack sign on the shirt with the hands.
Yeah.
The hands at the right Wolfpack, and not everybody knows what that shit is.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
I don't know why they're not selling them.
Because they don't have any.
Well, they gotta start making them. Who else we got here? We got Gene.
Because they still don't know, when one of us is gonna. Well, they know Kev's fine, but I don't blame them. I mean, I know I'm doing fine right now, but they probably are wondering when the fuck one of us is gonna fall off the deep end.
Mm-hmm. When they brought you guys in, what they said on the internet, I don't know how true it is, but that you guys were just on a show-to-show deal. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, that's how I preferred it. I mean, or not necessarily how I preferred it, but that's fine with me because if I shake somebody's hand, then fucking take that to the bank, and I expect that to be reciprocated in kind.
Mm-hmm.
So,
we got Dwayne on the line.
Hey, what's up, Six?
Dwayne, what's your question?
I just want to know if the WWE purposely made the NWO suck so bad when they brought it back.
Maybe. There's, sometimes we still talk about that. Because some of the things that were done just had to been done by design and couldn't have accidentally been done, to fuck things up that bad as far as the that NWO angle. I mean, regardless of what you say about any of us, that angle had a lot more legs on that. There was a lot more life to that than they got out of it. And now who knows? I don't know. I'm not at this point. I don't sit and dwell on any of that because things are done for reasons that sometimes we don't find out till years later. So.
It was actually in Eric Bischoff's book. He said that the DX was a copy of the NWO. What would you reply to that?
I would say that Eric was correct.
Mm-hmm.
Because we came to WCW, and we did our we were the Clique. We were the three of the five. So the three of us were there, and we were the Wolfpack, and so we just did our shit. We just played ourselves. How we ran around, worked when we worked for Vincent, before that. And so all the edginess and all the, the crotch chop, which I'll take credit for inventing. Imagine that going down in history, and that's your fucking...
That's your claim to fame.
It's your defining moment, making three graders tell their teachers to suck it.
I remember I was reading the dirt sheets at the time when I was starting to get into them, like in the 90s there. And I remember they would always talk about you doing the Bronco Buster and how disrespectful it was and how awful it was you do it to somebody like Ric Flair. And did you hear did anybody say, man, I don't want to take that move or anything like that?
Mick Foley did when I first came back to Vince. When we got him and Terry Funk in the cage later that night. Like, I went to put Mick down in the corner and he rolled over on his stomach. So my balls just bounced across the back of his neck instead of in his chin.
Like, when did you invent that move? Did you just tell a guy I'm gonna be jumping on your face in this? Or?
Hey, here's the deal, Hakushi, you remember him?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
well, he used to move, but he never threw the extra little fucking spice into it like I did.
Right.
Oh, so I always thought it was cool, and he was gone, and so I stole it, and then I just added my little extra ingredient to it, made it mine, and they banned it from WCW television.
Yeah.
And I still did it, and, got in trouble, and, ended up going, then nobody come, once everybody saw the pop it got, then everybody was lining up to get Bronco Buster by me.
Did you have anything else, Dwayne?
Plus,
I was actually going to ask who invented the crotch chop, but what did you think about X Factor?
We do what we could with it. I thought it was a pretty tight unit, but we didn't have, I don't know, we didn't have the machine completely behind us, and maybe rightfully so, I don't know. They were just trying to do something with me, because they liked me, and they were trying to give me something of my own, and I just, I never said I had to be the leader or anything. I just wanted to be a part of something fucking cool.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for calling in, Dwayne.
Yep, thanks.
Yeah, good man. There's a big pay-per-view this weekend, of course, is Lockdown. And you got your ticket information over at TNAWrestling.com. And you guys are doing tag team versus 3D again. You think this is do you think that's kind of a dream match for fans? Kind of the NWO, the Outsider guys against the Dudley Boys?
I don't know if it's a dream match in that regard. It's not fucking, it's not, who's fighting Roy Jones and Bernard Hopkins? It's not Roy Jones, Bernard Hopkins.
Right.
But, it's intriguing. And those guys have good babyface heat, and I think that, I don't know. See, we've never had the Wolfpack since we've been back together. We've never appeared in anything but the Orlando soundstage. And I don't care what anybody says, that's not an accurate snapshot of what the people across the how the people across the world feel. And so, I would look forward to getting into some of these bigger major markets again and really showing TNA management how fucking over we still are.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot different when you got the same fucking 500 people coming, to the arena and trying to dictate policy on how the show is supposed to go, and they should be part of the show. Don't get me wrong, but fucking A, man. Give us a little bit of a break there. We are filming a show in a soundstage that they're not paying the fucking paying a ticket to come see it. They are, whether or not they like it or not. In that particular situation, they're part of the cast, and they need to kind of get with the program on that, or start paying for your fucking ticket, and then you can fucking yell and talk shit and cuss and say somebody sucks all you want, and you can go, you fucked up, and you can whatever.
Mm-hmm. No,
I'm not trying to be cynical. I'm just being honest,
Mm-hmm. No, I just want to know your thoughts on Bubba the Love Sponge. Some people are really against him being with your group, and what do you think?
Well, being that I'm a huge fan of the show, of the Bubba show, mm-hmm. and friend of his, and his executive producer, Brett Hatley's been a family friend of mine for years. I know Bubba says some shit, and he's got some opinions that are controversial, but at the end of the day, he's not a bad person. He's not a bad human being. His inner monologue might be broken sometimes, and he says shit that other people think but don't have the fucking balls to say. And that doesn't mean he's right when he's saying it. It's just that he has the balls to say it. You know, I mean, obviously we'll take the Haiti thing, for instance. I was listening to that, Morty. I knew he was going to get heat for that. But that don't mean you go up there and just start fucking punching a guy in the face.
Right.
You know? And I love Kong. I think she's a sweetheart, but, you know, emotions got the best of her. And it was, but I understand the reason why she did it.
Yeah. No,
so,
yeah.
But dude, smart motherfucker. People that don't listen to his show just have no idea how unbelievably smart and talented that guy is. And he can be on my team any day of the week. And you know, we are supposed to be heels, and that does help us get booed.
Right. Yeah, because
he fucking loves it. You know, he doesn't need that shit. You know how much money that guy makes, and he just wants to be a part of this wrestling because he loves it.
Speaking of like heat and that, when you were in the NWO and like people were throwing trash in the ring and stuff, how fun was that? Because I'd never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, well, you know, at first it was all great for TV, and that was fine, and it looked really good on TV. But you know, you start getting hit with fucking quarters and
yeah.
darts and fucking marbles. One time I got hit with a full, like, giant-sized bottle of Gatorade at Sturgis, and, you know, finally we went to Doug Dillinger, and we're like, what the fuck, you know? Next time they do that shit, we're not going out to the main event.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, well, and this is a true story, because I heard it. I mean, it's at least true that he said this. He said, you know, I could stop that, but they told me to let it go because it looked good on TV. Mm-hmm. Well, it'll look good, real good when, like, you know, like I'm missing an eye, or some poor fucking old lady in the front row gets hit with a fucking, you know, crunched up can or a fucking tomato, like my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, that's what happened was it got to a point where people thought it was part of the show to bring shit to the show to throw at you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember they would have their bag of shit to throw at us. It was crazy.
Barbie, did you have a question?
Yeah, Golgo13 from the message board wants to know, could you defeat Eric Bischoff in a karate match?
What kind of karate match? Point fighting? Fighting? I mean, kind of stir. I don't want to like stir shit up with Eric because Eric can hold his own with anybody. I've seen him hold his own with Tiger Hattori, who was a world-class amateur wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
In Japan. Right. You know, so I mean, I got my opinion on that, but I'm not like, you know, he's a man and he's fucking. You know, I'm sure fucking it wouldn't be pretty for either one of us.
Yeah.
We have to ask about this because we've had him on the show twice, and he talked a lot about it. But just the Juventud Guerrera incident in Mexico.
Yeah, well, he's a fucking big mouth piece of shit. And I say that with no due respect. Because he was a friend of mine. I thought he was a friend of mine. Mm-hmm. And an incident happened in Mexico. I mean, I'm not going to go get into the details, but, I mean, I was in really, something really bad happened. And it was private. It was for fucking, to be kept private, you know, because there was other things depending on that not getting out, that information not getting out. And, it was basically a situation where he came over and we told him everything, and then he swears he won't tell anybody, and he goes on a radio show. Was it your fucking show he went on and said that?
It actually was, yeah.
That's right. I knew. That's right. And you didn't even fucking solicit him.
Nope.
Like, hey, what's going on with X-Pac these days? I heard the interview, dude.
Yeah,
he just
didn't really bring it up on that one.
Oh, by the way, did you hear about X-Pac?
Yeah.
He fucking spilled the beans, and I couldn't believe it. And you wouldn't have no idea the trouble that caused. Not so much me, but some dear loved ones of mine.
Right.
And everybody hates that little prick. You know, and I tried to love him, but and I just thought maybe he was just a little aloof or something, but no, he knows exactly what he's fucking doing. He's a little Humphrey Bogart little fucker with a Napoleon complex. That's a great fuck. He's great in the ring, except for the fact that he thinks he's fucking Superman or something in there and don't ever want to sell sometimes. But he came back. They finally hired him back AAA while I was there, and you know, on occasion I do feel the need to get retribution over certain things. A lot of things I let go and just forgive, and I forgive Hoobie now.
Mm-hmm.
He had to get the shit in the bag fucking treatment, before I could let that go. And so I tell you, like, flat out, I took a shit in this fucking bag. And I did it in front of the whole fucking locker room, and they popped like it was fucking Steve Austin coming out in fucking San Antonio, Texas. Yeah. And nobody stooged me off to the office. Everybody knew. And that little fucker knew it was me, and he goes and sues Jack Evans and Conan, and he won't fucking mention my name, because he's so fucking ashamed of being a fucking big mouth piece of shit that would fuck one of his only, like, good friends over that fucking he wouldn't even bring my name into it. So Juventud Carrera can fucking suck my cock.
Do you think he just didn't know it was you? He really thinks it's Conan, or he just...
Bullshit. Ask that question again?
Do you think he did know it was you who went in his bag, that he really thinks it was Conan, or like?
Went right to Conan. He went right to Conan, and Jack Evans saw that, and he fucked Jack Evans over somehow several months or a year or so earlier, and Jack Evans couldn't wait to just beat the fuck out of him. And I just sat there, and fucking guess what? Other guys came in to act like they were trying to break it up, and they were hitting him too.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could stand him. And I thought that I didn't want him to get hurt. I didn't want him to get beat up. I wanted him to take his fucking medicine and not sell it like a bitch, and fucking and live with it, and fucking learn from it, and not go running and opening his fucking suitcase full of shit and dumping it on the table in front of Mrs. Maricela and the whole Rodan family. And cause a big media stir over it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I mean, I'm sure you'll hear this, and Hoobie, like, you know, I mean, I wanted to be your friend, dude, but you proved to me what everybody else fucking warned me about you, and I didn't listen to them. I had to find out for myself. And guess what I did? You're a piece of fucking shit. And I'm not saying if I ever see you again, I'll beat your fucking ass, but if you ever step to me, I will.
So we had him on the right after that happened, and like you said, he didn't even mention you. He just talked about Conan and Jack.
Damn right, and he knew it was me. He fucking knew it was me. Because if somebody gets their bag shit in this business, and I'm in the fucking, and I'm on the clock, believe it was me. Because nobody else has the fucking balls to do it.
All right, on the let's see, let's get to a caller now. We got Gene on the line.
Hey, I'm a little mad. You got me a little fucking hot and bothered about that.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Not mad, don't get me wrong. It's just you got me excited.
I got you. I was actually worried you wouldn't come on if you knew that we had, but it wasn't us that said it. Like you said, he just brought it up on the show.
No, I remembered. I mean, it wasn't your guys' fault. Yeah, I remembered. I mean, it took me a second, but I remembered. Honest, so my fucking memory's a little bit like,
Right. Gene, do you have a question?
Yeah, I got a question. I got two questions. Jim Cornette said some things about you guys in the past. He has a commentary blog on the internet, and he said, you guys coming back to TNA, you and Hall, you're bringing some old guys who are way past their prime, and trying to push them and showcase them again. And I want to know how you feel about Jim Cornette, because he has said things about you. He has shoot hard on you in the past, and also. I just wanted to mention, a lot of people have a lot of wild stories about this guy, the Iron Sheik. If you have any stories about the Sheik on the road or any encounters with the Sheik.
No, I was never around Sheik, and I wish I would have been, because, it just sounds like classic stuff. And I love him. I would love for him to be like when we were doing WSX, I was like wanting him to be my manager, be like a fucking pimped out Iron Sheik with a bunch of fucking, coming to the ring with him. Like, yes. And I know he's hot at Scott about the Scott acting up at the roast. But whatever, man. People are just out there, doing their thing on the internet, getting their word out and trying to be controversial. And that's understandable. But, like, who else did you just ask me about?
Jim Cornette, he said some things about you in the past, and he's also said some things recently about you and Hall being back in the business and actually being back on TV.
Well, I can understand why he might have came to that conclusion, considering I had an ulcer. Like, I got called with 2 weeks' notice. I was sick in fucking Mexico with an ulcer. Scott was fat and out of shape. Kev always looked great, but by the time we got in by the time I got in the I don't think I skipped a beat in the ring. I thought I was fine in the ring down there. I was only going to get better. I'm only going to get better, I've got some ailments and that, but shit, and I could still fucking take an ass whipping like nobody's business, dude.
Thanks for calling in, Gene.
Back to Cornette. I didn't finish with him. In the past, he was hot because of the Four Horsemen thing, and I slapped the living fuck out of Ric Flair on TV one time because he was just eating my lunch on a fucking face-to-face like promo we were doing. And so, he was killing me. I had nothing, and it was live. And I bowed up on him, and he pushed me, and I slapped him so fucking hard, my fucking hand hurt for 2 days. And Cornette took offense to that. He took offense to the parody we did, and he had his opinions, and he has a relationship and a deep respect for Flair, and I do too. But Jim wasn't looking at it from my point of view. And I understand that he was venting, and he's a very, very fucking, when he gets going, he gets going. He's like a hothead. And he said some things that weren't very flattering, and we talked about it like later on, and it's all good. If he's got some opinions like recently, I'm not really familiar with them, but I will tell you I respect his opinion. As much as I do just about anybody. I think it was a mistake for them to get rid of Jim Cornette. Now, mind you, he needs to have somebody with him that's actually up on what the fuck's going on in the year 2010. Somebody more progressive. But as far as basic knowledge and shit, Jim Cornette's fucking, to me, a genius. Mm-hmm. And we don't have to see eye to eye on everything for me to say that. Whenever I see him, man, I enjoy talking to him, and I like his girlfriend. And like I said, we can have differences of opinions, and a person can feel free to express their opinion about me, and it's not gonna fucking break my heart, man. you know. And if the criticism is true, I'll try to take it to heart. Trust me, I'm sensitive to criticism.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if I hear like even just like, oh, the internet marks are saying that Waltman's slacking off or they ain't got it no more, you can better believe the next week I'm gonna go out there and fucking bust my ass to try to fucking get them to shut the fuck up. You know? Because I care about what people think about me.
Overall, do you think the internet's good or bad for wrestling?
It's I don't know how to answer that, man, because it's just the natural way of things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's inevitable. The technology came along, and wrestling was one of the first to utilize it, and now the whole world runs on it, man. So I mean, it's a necessary part of the wrestling business.
Mm-hmm.
It's a necessary part of any business. Internet now.
Definitely.
So more good product coming out on internet pay-per-view. Like I heard that ROH did well recently. Like, you know, or they turned a modest profit,
mm-hmm.
which isn't money, you know. There's obviously is a very niche product, but to me, in this day and age, like niche is the new mainstream because you can't cater to everybody, man. And if you try, you're gonna fail. You can't suck everybody's Johnson at the same exact time. You gotta pick and choose. Whatever. If there's kids watching this or listening to this, they should have been warned ahead of time that I was gonna be on here.
Right. Jai, speaking of children, Jai, do you have a question?
Hey, Shawn, I'm a big fan since I was really little. You're so good.
What's up, Jai?
I don't know. Did you see Shawn Michaels' last match? I know you're friends with him.
He's one of my dearest friends, and I have not seen that match yet because when I see it, I want to sit down in the right frame of mind and watch it from beginning to end, and then watch the retirement speech, just like I did with Flair and Shawn, and like I did with Shawn and Taker's first match. I don't want to just watch little bits and pieces of it. I want to see the piece of I want to see the masterpiece from beginning to end. You know?
Do you see him staying away from the ring forever? I mean, I know it's addictive. I know.
Well, sorry, I just lighten up a hooter here. I see Shawn Michaels staying out of wrestling long enough to, if he does return, people aren't going to go, oh, fuck, see, there he goes, just, having a retirement match, coming back right away. I think he's going to be gone a while.
Well, thank you so much. Have a great night. You're so cool. I love my memories of wow. Tongue-tied just talking to you. Thank you so much.
He's getting a little excited back there.
It was a pleasure. I want everybody to, go to Scott Hall TV or go to YouTube and look up Last Call with Scott Hall and myself and our special guests sometimes, or, sometimes I'm not there or whatever, but, it's usually pretty entertaining and insightful for the person that would like to have the opportunity to just sit, at a bar with us or at a show with us and hear how we banter back and forth and talk about subjects, and not how we do it in front of a fucking camera in a studio where we're going, let me tell you something, brother.
Right.
I mean, we're just talking. We're just people talking. We like to think we're pretty fucking funny. And some of the stories are funny to us, and other people give a shit about it because we talk about things that aren't, I mean, we talk about drug use, past drug use, and sometimes we talk about it in a comical manner. And if you know anything about like recovery from drug and alcohol addiction, I mean, that's not a bad thing to be able to laugh at yourself for that shit. Mm-hmm. And it's not glorifying it because obviously people have seen the results of it, But some of the shit that happened during those days was hilarious, man. And there, God, there's so many stories. I am seriously, really getting ready to start working on autobiography. And I'm not doing it because I'm jumping on the autobiography bandwagon. I'm doing it so people know the story from my words. I don't give a fuck if I put it out for free. I just want people to know that this was really me, and I don't want there to be any misunderstandings about me, because, I mean, I was accused of a lot of things that I didn't do. A lot of shit was written about me that was all true, and, most of it was true, but, like, anything to do with, like, abusing women was not true. And abusing drugs, that's a different story. I mean, that's something that was a big part of the wrestling business, but, anyways, I think I'm getting diarrhea of the mouth, so I'll shut up and let the next question come.
I got a question. Yes. Thank you. Shawn, Waltman, I got two questions. The first one is, the characters that you had in WWF and now TNA, which are Six, 1, 2, 3 Kid, and X-Pac, which one do you like best and why?
Which one do I like best and why?
Yeah.
I guess X-Pac, because that was where I really started figuring out who I really was and how to be real in front of a camera instead of turning into a character once a red light comes on, because for people to really start investing emotionally in you as a character, there's gotta be some realness there, man, and you don't have to have the most polished fucking promos and catchphrases and all that for the people to become endeared in the people's hearts. And excuse me, purple kush. But I don't know. I mean, I hope I answered that for you. But 2, 3 Kid thing. But I just didn't like the name at the time because I resented being a kid so much. I was in such a hurry to grow up, And now I'm like, so. But I mean, it's all the same, man. It all just kind of blended into each other.
Yeah. No, when you did the 1, 2, 3 Kid and you beat Razor, were you and Razor already friends, or you guys really didn't know each other at the time?
We knew each other. Obviously, we knew each other a lot better after that happened.
Yeah.
And that, but Kurt Hennig was my friend, and Kurt Hennig was my mentor, and was Scott's mentor, and Nash's, and Shawn Michaels, and many others that too many to name, and he was mentored by guys like Adonis and Piper, and who had their own clique. That was a pretty powerful clique. It just wasn't called the Clique, and there was no internet, and there was no, Torch or Observer that, talking about how old the cliques rule in wrestling. Well, I mean, there was a clique in the fucking early 80s, too. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. It was just a group of guys that got together that loved the business and were smarter than, most of the rest of the crew. So you gravitate towards each other. And that, but What was the fucking question again?
Just about when you were working 1-2-3 Kid versus Razor Ramon, like how close were you guys at the time? Did Razor have any problem with losing to you?
No, man, he thought that was a great idea. Everybody called him and said, "What, did you get fired? You suspended? You failed a drug test?" He goes, "Are you rid of me?" That was one of the unique ways of turning a guy babyface ever, dude. That was his babyface turn.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked like a charm. If ever anything worked perfectly, it was that.
Oh yeah. You mentioned earlier about the Scott Hall TV, Last Call with Scott Hall, and I know on there you were saying about Jeff Hardy's like the most over babyface in wrestling, and I guess you kind of seen him like come up from kind of like a job guy all the way to this big superstar. You kind of like surprised he became so big?
Not at all, man. We knew right away. Scott pegged him right away. Scott had his first match in WWF, and I had his second. And we knew right away. It was just going to be a matter of time.
Would you like an angle with you and RVD and Jeff Hardy? Would you like that to go on longer?
Well, I mean, that's obvious, yes. I mean, those guys are fucking, they know what to do in there, I mean, it's not like I'm leading anybody by the hand when I'm in there with those guys. Because, I mean, we're all bringing it to the table, and we all take it serious. And Rob Van Dam, I don't give a shit when you call him, on what day. When he shows up to work, that motherfucker shows up in shape.
Mm-hmm. He still looks exactly the same as last time I saw him on TV.
And, he's got the 420 reputation, but he never forgets a fucking thing in there. Ever. Ever, man. And he's one cool dude, and his wife is fucking awesome, too.
Yeah. Who else we got here? We got Chris.
Yeah, how you doing, Six?
What up, Chris?
What up?
Man, you've been smoking.
I want to know if you have spoken to Shawn Michaels, or either have Hall or Nash spoken to him since his retirement.
Hey, Chris, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You've been drinking, smoking weed, taking pills. Which one? Come on. I can barely understand you.
Neither.
I'm not judging. Trust me, I'm not judging. I'm just saying. It takes one to know one. Anyway, what's your question?
I want to know if you've spoken to Shawn Michaels since his retirement.
Oh no, and I feel bad about that, and that's a call that's overdue. And I've had a lot of shit going on in my life. I mean, a lot of great things professionally, and I still deal on a constant daily basis with my own shit, my own demons, my own problems and drama in life, and all that, and so I don't know.
What's your favorite Shawn Michaels story?
I want to know if you had a Shawn Michaels story.
Yeah, but I'm not going to bury. I'll tell you one where I'm not burying him. That we ever tried GHB? I don't know if you know what that is, but it's just liquid that if you drink it, it fucking gives you. If you drink too much, it'll knock your dick in the dirt. And it was the first time I tried it. And by the way, the GHB date rape drug thing is bullshit. Any pill or drug you put in a woman's drink to knock them out and then have sex with them against their will is a date rape drug, and they just put that label on certain things. Like GHB can't be patented because it's found in nature, so the FDA does not want that to be something that's out there available for people. Plus, there's a huge potential for abuse. And you'll understand that when I finish my story. I'm just long-winded here. It takes me a long time to spit things out. But so, anyways, I take a cap of the G, and it tasted like shit. It was so salty. And I waited the 20 minutes, and I'm like, I don't feel shit. Give me another cap. As soon as I took the other cap, I started feeling it, and I'm like, whoa, that can't be from the second cap already, and I knew I was fucked. And then I don't remember nothing except waking up at the Wyndham Hotel or whatever in Stamford, Connecticut, in my bed, in my clothes, full of piss. And he had to fucking roll me through a lobby in front of everybody on a fucking luggage cart. So that's a Shawn Michaels story I can tell without burying him. If he wants to tell one about it, if he wants to bury himself in a story, I'll let him do it himself.
Right.
In my book, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for calling, Chris. Actually, I got this email earlier from wrestler Joey Chaos, and he just mentioned, he wanted me to mention that you still have his XPW TV title.
Yeah, well, I gave it to charity. I just found it recently, and I gave it to charity.
Oh, okay.
As I had promised to give it back to him, but then I never could fucking find it because it was in my mother's attic. And the bell was pretty dilapidated anyways. And I like Joey. He's a cool guy, you know. And I apologize. I'll fucking buy him a replica.
All right. Yeah, actually, he's a really good dude. He calls in the show once in a while.
Sure.
Ruben, do you have a question?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Is this Ruben?
Actually have a few questions. Jai asked the one about Shawn Michaels. Jack asked the one about the Bronco Buster. So, let's see. What do you think is the most important thing that you learned early in your career while wrestling Jerry Lynn?
Wow, man, that's a tough question. I don't know, man. Just I think the you know, we were trying to learn from each other, and we're not wrestling guys better than you. It's very hard to get. We're doing our very best, man, and all that. And I Jerry Lynn to go an hour. You know, a good idea.
And several of them. They're awesome.
Did you follow ECW when it was really big? Did you watch ECW when it was, you know, the original ECW? What was going on?
I did, yeah. When I was at home, I would find it on some random channel in the middle of the night, and I was fascinated how they edited the show and the pacing of the show, and like, and I was fascinated with the cutting edge music that they used, and it's just, I mean, it was really, man, so fucking ahead of its time. So ahead of its time.
In between companies, did you ever like get offers to do anything with ECW?
No, because I always had a job waiting for me with the other company when I left the other big one.
Right. Now, I know you weren't with WCW when it closed, but like, how did wrestling change for you when WCW went out of business?
Well, I mean, that's the other buyer. Wrestling talent in our industry just got up by our boss, so that kind of sucked. But at the same time, you know, I mean, I was personally happy for Vince because like it was such a mission of his, like to kick Ted Turner's ass, and when he finally did, and just the joy it gave him. I mean, you know, I mean. And he kicked his ass fair and fucking square too. Mm-hmm. He did because he fought a huge checkbook, you know, that WCW had, and so that's why when I came back and we took the gloves off, guerrilla warfare style, invaded their buildings, you know what I mean, and so, you know, Vince McMahon did what he had to do.
Were you guys prepared for like to do anything if anybody came out when you guys like brought the tank to WCW?
I was.
Were you expecting like anyone like for them to send anybody out? Did you think they just would do what they did?
They might find some like blind fucking sheep that would go out, that would come out and try to confront us. That fucking just, you know. Job scared, but like the other guys, you know what? They thought that was funny as shit. They thought it was great.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it would have been smart for WCW to do something?
Yeah, I was surprised, like I told Bruce Pritchard, I said, we need to go down that fucking tunnel first, because if we don't, they're going to know we're coming, and they're going to close the door. And sure as shit, they closed the door on us. If we would have went down there first, we would have got inside the building, and that shit really would have happened.
Do you think TNA should try to do something like that, or do you think they're better off not even bringing up WWE?
Comment on that.
No, I mean, well, maybe not necessarily go and try to invade WWE, but they do a lot of stuff on TNA where they talk about WWE. Do you think that's a good idea, or do you think they should do more of that, or do you think they should not even mention WWE?
Well, let's first take things baby steps, man. I mean, because this thing's not going to happen overnight. Like, I mean, people that thought that we were just going to come out of the box fucking shooting threes and 2 5s and stuff, I mean, I think that was wishful thinking. But, like, okay, remember this conversation a year from now when things are looking a lot different. Mm-hmm. And I think at that point, when we get our shit in-house all in order, then we can go after them.
Do you think?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a healthy business, I mean, it might be, it might piss them off or whatever, but I mean, Vince McMahon, of all people, would have to respect a move like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shit, that's what makes things interesting.
As a wrestling fan, when TNA did the first live show, like as we said on the show, it was like the most fun we've had watching wrestling in years. It's like, something we were actually looking forward to. It's exciting again.
Well, that's cool. I hope, and it will get better, you guys. It will get better. It just, shit doesn't happen overnight. And I read critiques, and I read, real cynical critiques. I read more objective ones, and I take everybody's opinion, and I process it in my head and see if they have a point. And a lot of times they do, but a lot of times they don't know what the fucking variables are we have to work with. I mean, it's a lot easier to fucking armchair book than it is to have to fucking be there and deal with fucking the nuances of the unique fucking personalities we have in the wrestling business.
Yeah. Are there any things in TNA you think like they should focus on, like anything like you know that TNA can do better than WWE?
Wrestling, man. Right now, we got the best wrestlers going.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to feature that wrestling. Keep up the storylines, but fucking, not so much of it, man. And let's give them some longer matches. Not just long for the sake of long matches, but good matches, man. I mean, fuck, we got some talent there, dude.
Is there anybody there that you haven't worked with, like you've seen, like you'd really like to like do something with?
Yeah, I would love to have a fucking little singles run with the Pope, because to me, I think he's going to be the fucking man.
Yeah.
As long as he keeps going and going the way he's going, and he's still not afraid. Like, he ain't so far like into himself that he's not afraid to sit under the learning tree, man. And he's a humble guy. He's got a lot of humility, but he takes his gimmick serious. He lives the Pope 24/7. And if you carry yourself like the man, eventually people will fucking will look at you and they will see the man.
Mm-hmm. Like, well, how about other guys? What kind of advice would you give somebody who's just like saying, I deserve a push, but they're not getting a push? Like, and you see somebody like the Pope who really carries himself like that and deserves a push. What advice would you give other guys?
I would tell them, you know, don't be afraid to fucking ask people that have been there. You don't have to take everybody's like advice if it doesn't sound right to you. But at the same time, we don't want to. I mean, I don't. At the end of the day, man, you got to look in the fucking mirror and really like evaluate yourself and be honest with yourself and know what you're lacking and what you're good at, you know, and try to. It's like a bodybuilder. If his shoulders are a little, you know, small for the rest of his body, he does a little. It's like fucking, you know, making a sculpture, a clay sculpture. You just pack a little onto the shoulders there, and you know, you make everything symmetrical. And it's similar in wrestling, man. You just gotta. You gotta work harder on your things that are your weaknesses. So, but you know, go out there, and I know some people are like, well, I'm being held back or whatever. Still, don't, even if you're being held back, hang in there and have faith in yourself. And when you walk through that fucking curtain, it doesn't matter if you're doing the fucking job in 2 seconds. You don't walk through that curtain like I see some people walking through that curtain with the "I'm doing a fucking job" look on their face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you're only hurting yourself. You know, and if you start slacking off in there because you're mad at the office and you're like, fuck them, guess what? The people at home watching the show, they don't know you're mad at the office. They're just looking at your match going, why is this fucker slacking off? You know, I thought he was better than that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, so, you know, a lot of guys have pointed fingers at others and blamed others for their downfalls in the business. But one thing you got to remember is when you're pointing a finger at somebody, you got 3 of them pointing right fucking back at you.
Mm-hmm. Barb, did you have a question? Barbie? Well, we have a caller from Wales, Afro.
Wales.
Yeah, I was just wondering, your thoughts on teaming with Kane. What was like teaming with Kane?
What did you say? You can't find your bong?
Something like that.
I can't find my bong.
It's pretty late there in Wales, I think.
Let's hear it, dude. Come on, break it out. Take a hit so we can hear it.
Yeah, I said, what was your thoughts on teaming with Kane, and did you enjoy it?
Kane? What, the stuff with Kane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, he was my best player. Because the contrast was so different, it was just, I just loved it. I just loved it, man. Every fucking moment of it with him. Even when I turned on him and we had a singles feud, it was hard work, man. When you're the heel and you got to get heat on a 7-foot fucking 300 and some pound baby face with a gimmick that he doesn't sell, that's a fucking full-time job right there, brother. You got to pack a big fucking lunch for that.
Barbie?
You got a guy that you knock down and he's immediately sitting up and fucking coming right back at you. So you got to be in shape. And you got to know, and you got to be able to take a fucking beating, because when it's time for the baby face that big to shine, your ass is going flying all over that fucking ring.
Do you think personally you have better matches with the big guys where you can sell, or do you think your matches are better with like guys your size?
Either way, dude.
Put me in there. Right in.
To sound cliche, but put me in there with the fucking broomstick. I stole this line from Scott Hall, but I've used it on many promoters. Give me the worst fucking guy you got, as long as he listens. I'd rather have the worst guy that's going to listen to me than some guy that's just okay that thinks he fucking knows everything already.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is you don't know until you finally know. I don't know if you get that, if you understand what I'm saying, but, like, you just, when you don't know, you don't know you don't know. And then finally, fucking, you learn, and you go, oh, fuck, I can't believe it. I can't believe that, you know, it was that simple, and I didn't even get it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So.
I think Barb is, can we hear you now, Barbie?
Yeah, I think I should be doing okay now.
Alright.
Alright. One thing I really enjoyed back in the day was the short run with Marty Jannetty versus the Quebecers. What was that like?
That was great. That was great. We had that little angle where we beat them in, I think it was either Richmond, Virginia, or something like that. Marty was a great partner. Marty could fucking be hung over and sleeping under a table with his boots not even laced all the holes all the way up. And they say your music's playing, and he could fucking nip up out from under the table and go out there and rock it. What a great he was.
Along those lines, have you ever been on anything that you thought like you were putting your partner in danger in the ring, or were you always in the ring, ready to perform?
A couple of times I went into the ring fucked up. And I never injured anybody, but, like, I potatoed the fuck out of some people, and they fucking gave me a receipt. So, yeah, I'm guilty of that in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never hurt anybody, and most of the time, like, during the Attitude Era, you know, I just would smoke a little weed earlier in the day, and it would put me right to my match. And nobody, and everybody knew this was my practice, and everybody trusted me in the ring. And I never, and you know, I mean, I think I did pretty good for a with fucking a dozen concussions and fucking 2 broken necks.
Do you think the WWE wellness policy? Do you think that's something they should do, or do you think it should be up to the guys what they do in their own time if it's not affecting like their performance in the ring?
Well, see, I'm a libertarian, so I don't believe that anybody has the right to encroach on any of our personal liberties as long as we're not hurting anybody else. Now, with that being said, we're talking about safety issues, just like somebody operating heavy machinery, or just the fact that, you know, we don't want any more of our fucking colleagues kicking the bucket.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand both ways. I think they just went too far I think they swung too far to the right with this wellness policy. Because I'll go on record right now and say, it's ridiculous that they fucking fine guys for smoking marijuana there. It's fucking absolutely ridiculous, because the general public, they're like almost 70%, or actually close to 60%. I'm sorry, I take that back. Of the American public thinks that marijuana should be just all out and out legalized.
Mm-hmm.
Yet some guys are smoking a little bit of pot and then getting fucking huge amounts of money taken away from them, and they're smoking pot in their fucking room, and well, maybe they're not anymore, but I'm just saying, you know, they're not out popping pills, fucking doing crystal meth, and snorting cocaine and getting fucking shit-faced drunk.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing something that's never killed a person in the recorded medical history. Nobody has ever died from marijuana, ever. And I challenge you, anybody listening, to find me a case. Find me a documented case. I'll come right there. You got to pay the airfare, but I come right there and fucking and kiss your ass. Worse.
Hey guys, Ruben. Can I just say anything?
And also, this shit about steroids, first of all, steroids have gotten the worst fucking rap since marijuana by the government and by the media and their irresponsible bullshit reporting. I mean, people don't die from steroids. The people that have died in our business did not die from steroids. Chris Benoit did not die from steroids. It had nothing to do with his fucking with what he did. And it gets ridiculous when you see guys that are like, 360 pounds and just look ridiculously fucking gassed to their gills. But in my career, I never touched a steroid until I was 25 years old. And I have a prescription, a doctor's prescription for testosterone because my testosterone levels are low, and that's considered an anabolic steroid. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's nobody's forcing anybody to do shit, and the people want to see guys that look like fucking superheroes and Greek gods. Mm-hmm. They do. And a lot of people out there might be thinking, oh, this fucking X-Pac's absolutely out of his mind, like talking about steroids, like they're no big deal. Well, in the context of what I'm talking about, they're not. They're fucking not. And go watch the special that Real Sports with Brian Gumbel did on steroids, where they tried to do a hit piece on it and ended up having to come out and say we couldn't find any legitimate medical data other than anecdotal stories that proves any of this fucking bad publicity on steroids.
Did you ever see the documentary Bigger, Stronger, Faster? It's really good about steroids.
And it was ironic that which one was it, Chris or Tony that passed?
Yeah, it was. I'm not sure. It wasn't the one who made it, but it was his brother.
Right, and you don't know what the other variables are there. Mm-hmm. And I will say this: there are consequences to if you're going to use steroids. Look, I'm a drug addict, dude. It's hard for me to control drug use. That's why I stick to marijuana, because it's not going to hurt me. But I never abused steroids or anything like that. And if it was like something that had a huge potential for abuse, like I would be, trust me, I would have been the one to abuse it. But you can't pack 80 pounds of extra weight on your body if your body frame is only made to hold a certain amount of weight. I don't care if it's lean body mass or fat. It's still fucking weight that's fucking stressing your heart out. And okay, you may end up with an enlarged heart or something like that. But I mean, to blame it on a chemical and not the individual, I mean, we're talking about individual choice here. Our country was founded on liberty. And I don't want to get all off on the political deal, but I mean, we're turning into a fucking fascist fucking country here quickly with our liberties being taken away. So, I mean, shit. All right, let me get off my soapbox on that one. Anything else?
Well, we probably should wrap it up here. We've had you on almost 2 hours, which has been really good stuff. Everyone's really enjoyed it. But real quick, do you prefer the 6-sided or the 4-sided ring?
4-sided ring. There's nothing about the 6-sided ring that is better than the 4-sided ring. Nothing. It fucks you up trying to climb the ropes because the turnbuckle and the ropes aren't at 90-degree angles, so it's harder to climb them. You get fucked up trying to do spots. You have a tag match out there and it looks all discombobulated because one team's over here and the other one's over on this fucking on the other side. And I was really happy when they changed that.
Mm-hmm. I also like the ramp. I think that's a good look.
Yeah. I really I think they need to get out of the studio. Mm-hmm. They need to get up. and get, into some of these bigger markets, and it's coming. It's coming. Just give these guys a chance. Just give TNA a chance, and try to look at it and enjoy it, and quit fucking. Like if you go to a movie, you can pick a movie. You could pick a movie apart all day long, man. But you didn't go there to do that. You went there to fucking enjoy it. and if there's something like just glaring, like just really blatantly the shits. I mean, we need to be mindful of that. But
yeah, we actually say that every week. I don't know, like some people, I don't know why they even watch it if they just continually hate everything on wrestling.
Right, but they still watch it because they want people columns, and they want people to know how fucking smart they are about the wrestling business. And that's everybody, but I mean, a lot of them are. I mean, and some of the comments just borderline on I don't know. I don't want to get off on that subject because I have a lot of people that I really respect in the wrestling media and all that I think are fucking that have journalistic integrity as good as anybody I've ever met. So, I could pick names and shit like Dave Scheer can go fuck himself. But anyways,
any story there? Or?
No, he was just a stooge for Paulie, and fucking Paulie hated me at one time. Paulie might fucking deny this, but Paulie disliked me at one time because I shot down an idea about reforming the what was that team with Just Incredible and Lance Storm?
Impact players, yeah.
I said, I'll be damned, I'm not, no. I'm not going to be a rehash of the new Impact players. That's like the new Midnight Express or the new this. Anything that says the new on it is fucked.
Right. New Blackjack, so.
I don't want to be the new anything. I want to be the original fucking me. You know what I mean? So, dude, I really got to run, you guys. Yep. But I really fucking talking to you guys.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun here. Love to be back sometime.
And I would really love to know, like, how many times I said fuck during this interview.
We'll have to get the statistician on that.
All right. Send that to the University of Indiana, whoever did that study about how many times I fucking 3,000 gestures to the crotch and remember all that shit?
Yeah, I remember that.
All that bullshit. Anyways, that's really rude to the people I'm visiting right now. So they probably got dinner on. They probably locked me out by now. But I wasn't going to miss fucking talking to you guys for the world.